Hi guys, this is Rich with Wild Wonderful Weekends, and in this video I'm going to show you 5 of my favorite waterfalls here in West Virginia. They're my favorites because they are truly wild and wonderful. There are no ropes, no rails, no signs to tell you where you can and can't walk. You can get as up close and personal as you like. But that also means it's up to you to not get any closer than is safe. I'll put Google Maps links to each of these locations in the description, and there's also a link to a 360-degree virtual reality compatible video of these waterfalls that you can check out on your VR headset or mobile device for a more immersive experience. So let's take a look at the first one on my list, Rowdy Falls. This hidden gem of a waterfall is just across the road from the aptly named Rowdy Falls Roadside Park in Peytona, West Virginia on Route 3. The park itself is peaceful and simple with a few rustic picnic shelters and grills. To get to the falls, you have to cross the highway and climb down a steep and rocky path. Not gonna lie, it takes some agility, but the payoff is definitely worth it. The pool at the foot of the falls is a nice bowl shape and ranges from shallow to deep enough to swim. If you do decide to get in the water, I advise wearing water shoes because there could be sharp objects buried in the silt. If you're feeling extra adventurous, you can climb up the boulders on the side of the falls to the upper shelf. The view here is beautiful, and the water is basically a sheet sliding over the wide flat stone. Be careful though, because the surfaces can be very slick. Some of the things that make this place great is that it's beautiful. Photos and videos don't do it justice. There are rarely other people here, so you'll likely have it to yourself, and you can actually get in the water and have a swim. But there are some things to be aware of. The climb down and back is steep. There could be sharp objects in the water. And the rocks, especially on the upper shelf, are slippery. But the bottom line, if you enjoy exploring waterfalls, Rowdy should absolutely be on your list of places to visit this summer. Okay, let's move on to the next waterfall on the list, the Kanawha Falls, which are located just off of Route 60 in Glen Ferris, West Virginia. This scenic set of waterfalls spans the entire width of the Kanawha River. And since there's a boat ramp at this park, it's easy to get on the water in a kayak or canoe and paddle out to the nearby island for a picnic and an even better view of the falls. And if you want the best view of the falls, you can paddle into the cove. Here are a couple shots I took from an earlier video where I did just that. If you'd like to watch that video, the link is in the upper right of your screen. Today the water flow is pretty high and that boil looks too gnarly for me, so I'm staying out of that area. And that brings me to the things that makes this waterfall great, and also the things you should be aware of. It's super easy to get to these falls with great views right from the parking lot or along the concrete walkway. It's easy to launch a boat, and there are interesting spots to kayak. And I'm told the fishing is great here too. But depending on water conditions, your watercraft, and your skill level, getting too close to the waterfalls themselves can be extremely dangerous. If you're thinking of paddling here, I would highly recommend going with another paddler who's experienced in this area. Now let's move just a little further up Route 60 to the next waterfall on the list, the famous Cathedral Falls. Cathedral Falls is one of the most popular roadside waterfall stops in West Virginia. And no wonder. It's a great spot to take a break from traveling, play in the water, or take pictures. The water cascades over 60 feet into a pool at the bottom that's perfect for wading and cooling off. It's also the easiest waterfall to get to on my list. The only real things to be aware of are the boulders can be a bit slick at times, and it's most likely you'll have to share this location with others, but it's absolutely worth the stop. Okay, into the New River Gorge now for the remaining 2 waterfalls on my list. And the first one is just a short walk from the entrance to the K-Moore Trail. Wolf Creek Falls is awesome because it is so easy to get to. There's rarely many people here, if any. And the rocks that make up the steep face of the mountain are covered in thick, green, water-soaked moss, giving this fall a totally unique look. And it's probably the safest waterfall to visit on my list, with no special hazards to speak of, unless of course there's been a lot of rain. There is a second waterfall at this location that isn't officially on my list because it is pretty hazardous. Not only is the path to it full of uneven terrain and trip hazards, but once you get to the waterfall, the boulders are slippery even when they're dry. And if the water's up and you fall in, it's going to be a bad day. But that said, it is pretty scenic, and the walk to get there is too. Okay, on to the last and probably my favorite waterfall on the list, Dunlop Creek Falls, near Thurmond, West Virginia. This fall is right beside County Route 25 as you're traveling into Thurmond, and there's only a small, unmarked wide spot by the road to park in. But it is a beautiful waterfall, and when the water is up, it's truly impressive. It's not one you would want to play in though because of the sheer volume of fast-moving water. But getting out on the nearby rocks and just exploring is pretty amazing. I hope you liked this video and that you find time to check these local treasures out. But if not, don't forget you can experience them virtually with the link in the description. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and take care.